Hello everyone, my name is Natalia Lauk. Today we're going to be working on Prelude in A minor by Johann Cristian Bach, one of the Johann Sebastian Bach's sons. And this piece can be found on the level 2 Developing Artistry Piano Repertoire series by Faber and Faber, page 12 and 13. So I'm just going to start this piece to show you how it goes so you can get a first impression. And there is a second part that goes in modulation like this. So this piece is great for beginner pianists, maybe after first year. You study piano, this piece is exactly for you. So the second part is more difficult than the first one, because you see the hands moving quite more and they change in position a lot. So if you start practicing, just be aware of the second half when your right hand has to move a lot and left hand at the bass has to move as well. So let's actually play it together very, very slowly. And what is going to be important here is to go ahead and follow the fingering. So in the first half, your left hand just plays first. And remember, your first is not going to be like this. Not like this, right? You're going to play on the side of the finger like this, okay? And remember, always use this kind of motion, like you're rolling through, like with a baking pan, you're rolling through the key. You're starting from the lower position and then you getting your hand off the key. That's for releasing weight so you don't keep pressing, right? And then your right hand, remember, extend your third finger, for example, of 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, and turn your hand slightly towards the right. Because pinky is short and you want to provide that with extra support and extra movement, right? Every time. So it's not only going to be just the wrist turning, right? You cannot do just this. That would be wrong. Remember the whole construction, right? Your elbows going to the right as well, okay? So let's play it super slowly and we're going to eliminate the repeats. So no repeats for now. But go ahead and follow the finger in. Try to follow the dynamic, okay? 1, 2, 3. Oh, pardon me. I counted actually the quarter notes, but I started playing very slow. Okay, so let me do it one more time. We're still going to do it very slowly. So your eighth note is going to be pa, ti, ta, ta. That's slowly, okay? So we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and. Crescendo, grow the sound. 1, 2, 5, 2, 1. That's the fingers numbers. And diminuendo. And start again from very soft sound. 5. And grow. And towards the fifth finger turn. And 2, 3, 5. Diminuendo. Prepare, move left hand. And let's keep going. And 1, forte. Don't repeat my mistake. And finally, not so loud. Diminuendo. And mezzo piano. Okay, so the interesting thing about this piece that it's in 3/4, which means 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and, but because the motive goes, it's kind of gonna feel that you have it in actually in 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. Okay, but for just the purpose of counting and sticking to the meter, make sure to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 1 and 2. Okay, we're gonna play it a little bit faster right now. Let's see what the next tempo. 1 and 2 and 3 and let's go 100. Okay, that's still slower than the performance tempo, which is 120. Okay, so that's for actually for a quarter note. So that means 1. That's probably still too fast for us. Let's see. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and if we go 100, let's use 100 for an 8th note. Okay, so that means we're going more than twice slower than the actual tempo. Okay, ti-ta, ti-ta. Maybe a little bit faster. 110. 110 would be good. Ta, ti-ta, ti-ta. Okay, that's not a bad tempo. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and that's the 110 per 8th note. That means again we're still playing more than twice under tempo. Okay, 1 and 2 and go. Crescendo. Diminuendo. 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Forte. 2. Okay, so I hope you were able to follow. So there is a little trick. I mean, it's not a trick, but if you follow the finger in the left hand, starting measure 9, you will see it's 1 and then 2, then 1, then 2, then 1, then 2. So what is happening? Basically, you're releasing your second finger and you're shifting your left hand to the left. So once you release 2, there's 1 on the place, the first finger on the place of the second. And then again, 1, 2, 1, 2. And finally in measure 17, you get again 2 again on D. And then 3, and then 2, 1, and then you jumping down to E on your pinky. Okay, so let's work a little bit on the right hand starting measure 9. So remember, you're going basically the triads, the chords. In this case, you're playing B major chord. You're playing B, D sharp, F sharp, and then the same thing down, D sharp and B. Just keep in mind that the sharps stay until the end of the measure. Then you're moving your second finger. It's easier actually with the second finger to the E minor, and you're playing 2, 3, 5, 3, and then your first finger moves to A, second finger moves to D, first finger moves to G, second finger moves to C, first finger to F, second to B, first to E, second to A, first to B, then to A, then second to G sharp. Okay, so this one is better to be practiced either slowly or in a so-called blocked position when you play everything together like this. So this is B major, then you move on and play E minor, then A major, then D minor, then G major. So that's called sequence, kind of copy-paste technique. Then F major, then diminished on the B, just all white, and then E major, and then A minor, and then diminished on B, then A minor, then diminished on the G sharp, and then arriving to A. Okay, so this is something to get used to. Those, you see how your right hand is moving down, pum 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 pum, kind of jumping left and right. Just be prepared that it's gonna be a little bit complicated at first. Okay, let's try the new tempo. Let's try 150 per eighth note. That's still quite slow. Okay, that's still slower than it's supposed to go. Okay, so 1 and 2 and 3. Starting piano and growing and diminuendo, starting again soft and growing and diminuendo. 1, 2, forte. Also, if you use pedal, you will see there is a pedal underlined. So the bass stave, you will see the pedal going starting from first measure. And be careful, because at the end of measure 7, you're supposed to release that, and then measure 8, there's no pedal. And also at the very end, at the very last measure, there's no pedal. And measure before, you have to release it on the last beat. Okay. So now let's see if we can speed it up. Let's see, what is the performance tempo? Performance tempo is 120 per quarter note. That means we have 2 eighth note per beat. So our beat is supposed to be quite fast. Let's see. Yappa dee da dee da, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay. So don't try this tempo until you feel very comfortable with the slower one. But probably it's time to start for us, and if you feel comfortable, let's go ahead and try that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and also try the repeats. Try to repeat the first part, measure 1 to 8, and try to add some difference, okay? I'm going to play it once again with some dynamic differences. I'm probably going to start my second time a little bit softer, or maybe a little bit louder. Let's see what mood would I have, okay? Let's try it one more time with the repeats. 1, 2, 3. can see I added some of the dynamics that weren't there, because that would be something for performer to improvise. If you have the repeats, you're supposed to do them differently, so it's more entertaining, it's more interesting for the public, and you can show off your craft. And I also added the real ritenuto at the end. I slowed down my last two measures. Okay, good luck with this piece. Hopefully that was helpful, and I hope to hear you playing that.